It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sport. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Boston Celtics as they go up against the Chicago Bulls. Looking at the Bulls, they dropped the first matchup against this squad. They'll try to even the series in tonight's game. Well, Boston had been in a bit of a rebuild.
Chicago, Illinois, home of the Bulls in a fine Eastern Conference battle at the United Center. This road trip for the Celtics kicking things off here in this one. And there's certain to be some disappointment because of the injury to Marcus Smart.
And you're right, Kevin. As bad as it's turned out to be, it tells you a little bit about his toughness that when they took him to the locker room after he got hurt last game, he wanted to come back out and get on the court.
Yeah, and credit the team for putting his long-term health first, because this guy clearly is a gamer, and I'm sure he's looking to get back out there as soon as possible.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court for the Celtics, the big men are Sullinger and Olynyk. Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side, and it's Crowder in at the three. Thomas with the ball, and Rose picks him up defensively. Thomas kicks to Olynyk from 11 feet away, and it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
And there was a question of whether or not Derrick Rose would be able to get back to his former self. At times last season, you could see him back in that MVP form.
Here's Thomas. 8 points his last outing. Let's send it out to DB, who caught up with head coach Brad Stevens. Doris?
One player he said he's worried about in this game is Pau Gasol. He said with his length and touch, it's really hard to bother that shot. We're going to try to be physical with him, body him up early, and deny him position. And guys, that's what a lot of teams try with Gasol. Force him to really battle through contact. We'll see how it works.
And as always, Doris, thank you. And here is Gasol after Jared Sullinger hitting his three.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Outside Thomas. He dishes it to Olynyk. Clock at 6. Back to Thomas. 17-foot shot on the way. And that one's good. Thomas got his first points of the night.
Wow, risky shot there size-wise, but the incredible skill that he possesses allows that one to go.
Well, the quick high release negated any height disadvantage he had right there. Well, I think this is the start they wanted. Come out and put some points up early. 3 or 4 so far.
Butler against Bradley. And there's the defensive 3-second call. The Celtics shooting their first free throw of the night.
And 74% has been the mark for them on the season thus far.
You know, the numbers from the line, guys, are close to where they were last year. But just a tad worse, so not too bad.
And he shows the focus there, nails the technical.
And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
Off the inbound pass. Shot is off. And it's Chicago the other way. You talked about Isaiah Thomas before. Certainly his short stature limits him on Clark, the defensive side.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't rack up a ton of steals, given his instincts and quickness. I think he really focuses on making his impact at the offensive end.
Now here's Thomas after the miss from Andre Drummond. Thomas, no luck.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Here's Butler, and the shot is long. Boston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Now, here's Thomas. He's someone who's a factor on any given night, averaging more than 22 points a game. It's Olynyk atop the key. Shot clock at 5. Fade away. The offensive rebound. Sellinger, no good.
Boy, he really bungled that finish.
For Chicago, they've gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. And Butler, here we go, from the baseline. And the shot falls short this time. For Boston, they've gone just 2 of 7 so far. A little bit of a slow start for them. Thomas with the ball, and Rose picks him up defensively. There's the screen. Thomas kicks to Bradley. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Bulls trail by 3. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Now here's Gasol. He's coming off a 22-point game against Milwaukee.
Yeah, but the rebounding in that game as well was just tremendous. I mean, he dominated the backboard.
Here's Thomas after Pau Gasol's bucket. Sellinger outside. He feeds it to Crowder. A picture-perfect screenplay, and the jumper's good.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Now, here's Gasol. He's got 6. Fades. No good off the front iron. Celtics leading by 3. Crowder with it. Now right defender. Thomas. Rejected by Gasol.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
And it's Butler with the jam.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch in how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
Now here's Rose. A 24-point outing in their last game against Milwaukee.
And he also was a table setter in that game, Kevin. Just an amazing job with his passing. Just a joy to watch him.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one. Almost always deadly when he's that open.
This all setting the pick for Rose. And here comes Thomas leading the fast break, and Butler sends it back.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
So they take the lead. Rose has got his first points of the night.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. They put up a nice win against Detroit the last time out.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have.
Now here's Thomas. Dishes it to Sellinger. The Celtics working the ball around now. Crowder with it, right on him. Olynyk inside, defended by Drummond. Olynyk can't hit. Thomas against Rose. To the paint, here's Drummond. Can't get it to fall.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Bradley dishes to Thomas. Kicks it to Sellinger. The 9-footer's on the mark. Sellinger's got 5.
Both teams trading punches back and forth. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
The momentum swing, really impossible to keep track of. The energy in the building just keeps going back and forth, ebbing and flowing. I'm loving it.
That drops. Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth the whole way thus far.
Yeah, and you look at the lead changes, 6 already.
Now, here's Thomas. They set the pick. Down low. Bradley against Butler. And it's Bradley off the drive. Here's Crowder. It's Drummond with the rebound.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Rose in the post. Thomas is on him. Rose gets the bucket. And now a 3-point Bulls lead. Boston's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. Thomas kicks to Sullinger. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Thomas got 3 assists now in this one. The Bulls have gone 8 of 15 from the field, shooting above 50% here tonight. Thomas against Rose, out to the wing. Here's Drummond. Rebounded by the Celtics. Their last encounter was in Boston.
And they really got after it from a defensive standpoint throughout that entire game. The turnovers they forced really tell the story.
Yeah, it was a major factor in the ball game. I mean, the more turnovers they caused, the more shaky those guys got with the ball.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And Isaiah Thomas, traded last season from Phoenix over to Boston, seemed to be a matter of fit and not production as to why they moved him.
Greg, you were talking about Isaiah Thomas. He had no love lost for the Suns. In their first meeting, he took them apart, Clark, on the floor. Remember that game? Stared him down as he was hitting shots, looked at that bench. Man, he had a big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and you know, most guys that are a little undersized and have battled doubters all their careers bring that kind of edge anyway. You throw in the fact that he was disappointed how the trade unfolded. He was amped up and ready for that return visit.
4 on the clock. Shoots. A shot by Clarkson, no good. Boston's gone 3 of 5 from 3-point land so far in the ballgame. Now here's Thomas. He's tightly guarded. Wide open. And off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him. Thomas got 6.
Obviously, a mix-up defensively on that possession.
Clarkson with the ball. 11 points for him in that last game against Milwaukee.
Good little 2-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
Now here's Thomas. Misses in close.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Smith kicks to Gibson. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Here's Thomas. He's got 6. Johnson with a screen on Smith. No one near Turner as he lets it go. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Now here's Splitter. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. 14 feet away, and it's Smith missing.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that.
Exactly. I mean, no way you expect him to miss that shot.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And Evan Turner's one of those guys. He just gives you a little bit of everything. I mean, he can play multiple positions, handles the ball, he can pass it, shoot it. Kind of a Swiss Army jackknife who uses multiple tools to his advantage.
Greg, for Evan Turner, the one area where he can still develop in a big way is with the jump shot. Clark, 28% from 3 last season. Really is not going to make it.
Yeah, that's been the one stain on his game, the lack of that deep shooting ability, but everything else he can do. He can handle, he passes, he rebounds. To be an elite player, he's got to be able to knock down that 3-ball better.
Austin with the ball after J.R. Smith getting his 3 to go. Lee, a screen on Smith. Lee passes to Turner. He kicks it to Uretko. The 3 from Thomas. Chicago grabs the miss. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
And guys, a loss like that, that's one when you just got to put it behind you as quickly as possible.
You know, that won't be easy, Greg. It's hard not to dwell on that type of performance.
And here is Thomas following the three from Nikola Mirotic. Johnson with a screen on Gibson. Thomas against Smith. Thomas dishes to Johnson. No good with the layup.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
It absolutely is, and maybe even more than that. I mean, you saw it right there. Without his presence, that's an easy basket.
And Amir Johnson re-signed in Toronto. He's been a big part of this team for years, and he talked about their great fan.
Almost like a soccer atmosphere. I don't know if you've been to a soccer game overseas, but they're just always cheering, rowdy, jumping up and down, waving towels. It's just a great atmosphere, you know, and it's inspirational just to watch the support we have, and it's something that you want to play for the country.
Fans south of the border in the U.S. are surprised when they learn how passionate, Clark, the fans in Toronto can be.
You know, Kevin, that's so true. I mean, when they get it going at the Air Canada Center, that place rocks. And it's great to hear Amir talk about how that pumps him up and makes him want to do it for Canada.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. Guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Greg, no uncontested shots for the most part. That's why they've had success.
On the court for the Celtics, second quarter underway. Turner is out there with Bradley. Then there's Perry Jones. And there's Jerebko. And it's Lee in at the center position.
And the defense out of position on that possession, which allowed for him to get that offensive board.
Well said. Yes, he did. You're right, Greg. That's a tremendous jam on the putback.
What a great nose for the basketball he has, and such a strong finisher as well.
Lets it fly. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Good look. He'll make that one most of the time.
Clarkson kicks to Gibson. Here's the screen. Smith wide open. He fired. That one dropped for his second bucket. Mark him 2 for 4. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. And Turner kicks to Jones. Rebound by the Bulls.
Nobody even close to him, and he can't believe he doesn't knock it down.
Gibson setting a pick for Smith. Feeds it to Gibson. And that misses. That would have put him up. Boston's gotten a success rate of just over 50% from three-point tonight. 4 of 7 shooting. No problems knocking that one down. That's 7 points for Evan Turner.
Easy little jumper for him right there, guys.
Three-pointer, Snell. The shot no good. And it's Boston the other way. And following this game, they'll challenge the Grizzlies on the road at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. That matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip. Jones up top. And he banks in the layup. And the Celtics lead by 4.
Really, really good at recognizing the gaps and getting the ball to the rim.
And the first timeout of the game called for Chicago.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, I like this timeout, Greg. I think it's a good one because it looks like they need a minute to talk things through here.
Almost halfway through the season, let's check out the standings in the East. Taking a look at Boston. The season well underway, and they've been solid in 3rd right now. And, of course, Chicago down 4 spots from them.
And looking at Chicago, they're in the mix for a playoff spot, which is definitely a positive. But I'm sure they'd like to have had their hands around that spot a little tighter than they do.
For sure. I mean, it's certainly not a sure thing at this point. They've got work to do yet.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Drummond's checked in for Splitter. Saul comes in for Taj Gibson. Butler, he's checked in for Smith. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Jordan Clarkson.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that was so tight.
How's that? for a quick possession.
Yeah, no hesitation at all taking that one to the basket. Beautifully done.
Screen by Jones. Rose against Turner. And the rebound goes to Pau Gasol.
Hey, I like creativity and a circus finish as much as anybody. But you better be sure you got a chance to make it.
And the basket good. Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Jones with the screen on Butler. Bradley against Butler. Bradley passes to Sullinger. Boston again missing.
Yeah, but the hand in the face. It's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
Derrick Rose again. Now it's a 4-point Chicago lead.
It is so hard to contain him. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Jones sets the pick for Turner. Shot to stop the run. And there's Perry Jones on the assist by Turner. Jones has got 4 points in the quarter.
Defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
Outside Rose. They set the screen. Gasol setting the pick for Rose. To the inside. It's stolen by Sullinger. Inside, here's Bradley. The shot is good. And so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Rose in the post. Turner covering. And it's Rose missing. Celtics have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. Nice ball movement by Boston. Sullinger the screen. Bradley, no one around him. And it's Boston with another.
What a job he's doing here. I mean, his second quarter has been even better than his first, and that was pretty good.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury.
Butler on the wing. Defended by Crowder. Just 5 to shoot. And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a 3-point play. Going to the line for 1.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
Darrell Wright's checked in for Tony Snell. And the Celtics also making a change. Olynyk's checked in. Sullinger did continue to improve last year, Clark, but you can't ignore that he had to miss time once again.
Yeah, and you hope that he'll be able to stay healthy for a full year at some point. When he's on the floor, he's a hard matchup for just about every team in the league.
Olynyk, shot is off, so the Bulls will take it the other way. A wide open look here for Wright, and again, no good by Chicago. Boston trailing. Outside Turner. In the corner, Crowder with it. No one near him. And the jumper is on the mark. Crowder's got his second bucket of the night.
Nice pass there to set that bucket up.
And that's 10 of their last 12 points that have come off assists.
Rose dishes to Gasol. Back to Rose. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That one on Turner. Derrick Rose, unbelievable spirit. We know about his toughness, has fought through injuries of all kinds that might cause a lesser competitor to hang up his sneakers.
And competitor, that's the word, Kevin. I mean, he was impossible to outcompete at the high school level, the college level, and now in the pros.
And he knocks down the first one.
And, you know, back to D. Rose for a moment. He drives the lane now as hard as he did before the injuries. It's a level of fearlessness that only a few guys possess. And it's not teachable. You either have it or you don't.
The Bulls making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. Johnson, he's checked in for Boston. Isaiah Thomas comes in for Evan Turner. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And, you know, back to D. Rose. He grew up in a brutally dangerous neighborhood on Chicago's South Side. Some of that fearlessness, that competitiveness he exhibits was learned early on out of necessity.
Thomas, no luck. Chicago leading. The feed now to Wright. Tries to save it. Here's Crowder. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Detroit. There's a screen. Thomas goes in, passes it to Olynyk. Mirotic grabs the miss.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch. The game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Johnson the screen. Thomas kicks to Crowder. Austin needs to get off a shot. Thomas outside. It's hauled in by the Bulls.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game. Just lazy defense on the glass there.
Well, nobody boxed out. Nobody put a body on anybody else. Things like that not only drive the coach crazy, that stuff gets under my skin.
Now Crowder, looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Rose against Thomas. Rose with the block. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Rose. Taj Gibson's checked in for the Bulls. Clarkson comes in for Rose. And a change for the Celtics. Jerebko's checked in. Here's Thomas. He has 6. Thomas with another miss.
Oof, rough shooting night tonight, but you can't fault him for the effort.
Wright with a screen on Thomas. Here's Clarkson. Up and in on the layup. And it's a 7-point Bulls lead.
I mean, it's just fun to sit back and enjoy watching him operate. And that's what it looked like the D was doing as well. They're just sitting back and watching.
There's the dish to Thomas. With some arc. And the layup is up and in. Thomas got 8 points.
I like it. I like it. He broke out the fancy finish there.
Now, here's Clarkson. He's guarded by Thomas. Mirotic passes to Gibson. It's Chicago with another bucket.
He's got to be a little embarrassed for joining the Paratroopers Club on that pump fake.
Celtics trail by 7. And here's Crowder. To the inside. And Olynyk gets it to go on the assist from Crowder.
Well, they're not shooting as many from outside here in the second quarter.
They were shooting well early on. I like their spacing. I think they should get back to that.
Clarkson dishes to Wright. Pass to Clarkson. .153 left now here in the second. Here's Mirotic. It's hauled in by Thomas.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Johnson the screen. Crowder kicks to Jerebko. Now here's Olynyk. A 20-point game for him in the win against Detroit.
And he also controlled the backcourt as well. I mean, he really did a terrific job.
Thomas gets the bucket.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Austin's gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight. 50% exactly. Master Olynyk shoots from 12. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas. Olynyk's got his second basket of the game.
And a big height advantage right there.
You know, it's tough to bring a big man that far away from the goal. But that might be a mismatch they're willing to live with. He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Now here's Crowder. He's guarded closely. Back to Thomas. Now here's Crowder, defended by Butler. 4 on the shot clock. Thomas gets a wide open look, and he misses the go-ahead basket. Chicago's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And Gibson kicks to Butler. Back to Gibson. Crowder with the steal. Left side Thomas, and stolen by Wright. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Bulls out front. They lead by a bucket. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Kevin, I have Derrick Rose, and Derrick, you guys were scoring pretty nicely as a unit here tonight. How do you facilitate that?
Just be more efficient. I'm taking less shots, making sure that I make my shots and take my time on the offensive end and get people involved in the game.
Thank you, Derrick. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Doris, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for the third quarter of basketball.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. Derrick Rose taking care of business in this one. He had 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Kenny, what did you think about what you saw from Chicago?
Well, they called the right plays, and then they executed them. Great job in the first half. That's why they were so efficient, and they shot so accurately. The defense threw a number of different looks at them, but they were always prepared because they were cool, calm, and efficient.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Boston?
They're giving up way too many good looks. You want to keep your opponent under 50% shooting? They have not done that. What's the solution? Maybe more ball pressure, more physicality down low. Whatever it is, Ernie, they need to figure it out.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
What a game for Rose. 12 points and 5 assists. You know, as tremendous as his stats are, what I've liked most is just the effort he's put into this game.
And Clark, he's worked his tail off at the offensive end, and his D, it has been on point.
Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Pau Gasol is out there with Wright, and it's Drummond in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Shot clock at 6. Rose. Great D that time from Thomas.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
And watching Jay Crowder, he can really boost you up, Greg, and take you out of your game. One of the most physical wings, I think, in the NBA.
And not the most flexible athlete, but he makes up for that with that strength that you mentioned. It allows him to control the pace. I mean, he's a bumper and a grinder and hitting a big 3 out of nowhere. So he's what we call a true gamer.
Here's Bradley.
And out of the gates here in this second half, they have not started well. 0 of 3.
Well, they're passing to Drummond. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. 16 feet away. No good from Gasol.
Looking at Jay Crowder, he got traded from Dallas to Boston in the Rondo deal last season. Nobody expected all that much from him. All he did was go out and become one of the most valuable players on that team.
Thomas dishes to Sullinger. Outside Thomas. To tie. Can't get it to go. Good D by Drummond.
When you talk about Jay Crowder, there are those that you win because of, and then there are guys like him that you win with. I mean, the guy who's going to take the charge, commit the hard foul, do what others won't, really shows the heart of a champion.
And right. Here we go. From 8 feet away, he drops it in. Wright's got the first basket of the second half here for Chicago. Celtics trail by 4. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
And there's the pass to Brandt. They set the pick. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Ouch. 5 shots without a make. That's a really ragged start coming out of halftime.
Rose against Thomas. Gasol with it. He has 6. That's good. Now it's a 6-point Bulls lead.
And how about the bounce pass there being used to perfection?
Thomas kicks to Sullinger. He dishes it to Bradley. Olynyk sets a screen for Bradley. He feeds it to Olynyk. Tries from 16. Good. Olynyk's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
And he's made more than his fair share of those today.
Chicago calls timeout.
And the thing with Kelly Olynyk, he does some stuff that really helps you, and some also that will hurt. I mean, he's highly skilled. He's got the deep range, textbook positioning in terms of the post. A lot of tricky moves down there. Yet he has a hard time being effective against great athletes, which the NBA is filled with. So he's going to have to evolve as a basketball player if he wants to be effective.
Smith checked in for Chicago. Tony Snell comes in for Jimmy Butler. The Celtics also changing it up. Lee comes in for Kelly Olynyk, and Turner subbed in for Crowder. Thomas kicks to Turner. Picked by Lee. Back to Thomas. Over in the corner, Lee. And it's Turner off the drive. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Well, and back to Kelly Olynyk. As a coach, you have to identify the matchups where he can be effective, because Clark is against explosive long limb guys. He'll take advantage of them.
Yeah, they will, but in the right matchup, he's effective. He can help you. He makes 35% of his threes, has done that for the last 2 years. And I think he gives you some toughness and rebounding as well. I like him as a second-unit player.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
Gasol setting the pick for Smith. Shot, high post. A wide open look for Gasol. And again, no good by Chicago. Celtics have gone just 25% from the field here in the second half. They're 2 of 8. Thomas goes in. Bradley with room to shoot. That's good. And it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got 6 assists here tonight.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
Smith left side. From out on the wing, he knocks it down. Smith's got 7 points.
A splendid pass that time by Rose.
Turner passes to Sullinger. Outside Bradley. Dishes it to Thomas. Looking for Lee, gets it there. Can't hit. And the Bulls going the other way now. Here's Snell. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. They get it back and finished off by Gasol.
And he's just going all out to get the second chance points. Just a terrific finish.
There was no one that was going to prevent MGA from converting that one.
Well, clearly this is the kind of game that could come down to 1 or 2 plays, and he wants to be the guy to make those plays.
Lee against Drummond. Lee outside. Here's Sullinger. Good D by Gasol.
Not the best shot right there with a good defender draped all over you.
I agree with you. I mean, not the shot they were hoping for, but he can really cause problems with his defense.
And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
In that tight, with that much of an advantage height-wise, there's just not a lot the defense can do.
Chicago making some changes. Splitter comes in for Andre Drummond. Taj Gibson is subbed in for Pau Gasol. And then for Boston, Johnson comes in for Jared Sullinger. And it's Perry Jones in for Thomas. Celtics trail by 7. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Turner again throws to end the run. That jam! I mean, just beautiful.
Grown man's power flush with the long hang on the rim at the end of it.
Clark, that could be a catalyst for him.
I think you're right.
And when we've seen those kinds of plays get them fired up in the past.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam. Smith for 3, and again, no good by Chicago. Boston's gotten a lot of looks from outside tonight, 5 of 12. Bradley drives in. Outside Turner. Pulls up on the elbow. Rebound by the Bulls. Splitter's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Here's Smith, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
And how big was last year's trade for J.R. Smith? I mean, sent from the Knicks to the Cavaliers around midseason, Smith began to post some of the better numbers of his career, helping prove that for a tumultuous personality like Smith's, environment is key.
The first one falls. For J.R. Smith playing alongside LeBron and Kyrie last season, he knew he had a chance for a ring. You know, Clark, he played like it most of the time.
He sure did. I mean, instead of having to create offense, the offense was created for him, served up perfectly for him, and all he had to do was knock down open jumpers, and as a result, his shooting percentages rose after the trade.
Right side, Lee. Back to Bradley. Lee sets a screen for Brad. 5 on the clock. Got freed up. Nice work off the pick. Bradley's got 13 points.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know, he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
And there's the foul. It goes on Evan Turner. That's foul number 2 for him.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, he was one step late that time, Greg.
Jerebko's checked in for Jones. Clarkson kicks to Splitter, and he jams it with authority.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
Picked by Lee. Kicks it to Turner. A 3-ball. That's good. Turner's got 12.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Clarkson kicks to Smith. And Boston with the rebound. Lee's got 4 rebounds in this game. Outside Turner. Johnson sets the screen for Turner. Just 5 to shoot. Shoots it. They get it back. Lee battles through traffic and lays it in. Now just a 2-point Bulls lead.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
Mirotic the screen. And dishes to Mirotic. Good on the triple. Mirotic has got 8 points.
You know, the defense was lax right there, and he's able to make them pay.
Outside Turner. He kicks it to Lee. Not enough on that one as it misses.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
For 3, Smith. Rebounded by Jerebko. Jerebko's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Feeds it to Johnson. Outside Turner. To the paint. Here's Lee. Lee with another miss.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Clarkson kicks to Splitter. Smith outside. The feed to Gibson. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Gibson's got the lead up to 7 now for the Bulls.
Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Turner passes to Brantley. Out to the right wing. Shot clock at 5, and that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. And let's take a second to view a list of shooting guards who have been very dependable offensively this season. These two guards are the most accurate in the league. Second, Jimmy Butler. And, of course, J.R. Smith.
You know, in tight or outside, these are all very reliable and consistent shooters. It's a safe option to put the ball in their hands and let them create something for themselves.
Boy, it does smooth things out for a team to have a two-guard like one of the guys we're seeing there. I mean, you don't need to draw up anything fancy for these fellas. Just call an isolation, and they'll get you something good.
Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for the Bulls. And then for Boston, Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Lee, and it's Crowder in for Avery Bradley. And there's the foul. It'll go on Nikola Mirotic. That's his first foul. .152 left in the third quarter. Now here's Crowder. Not a lot of room, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it.
And you know what? His mind's playing tricks on him right now because he's not going to live that one down easily.
Chicago making a switch here. Lights checked in. The Bulls leading by 7. Smith kicks to Gibson. Inside, here's Butler. That ball is good for another field goal. His 6th. He is 6 for 9 on the stat sheet.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
And all about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks that Coach drew up. Just look at what a sniper he is from long range. He's got such an unusual skill for a big fella.
Here's Gibson. Evan Turner pulls it in. Celtics trail by 6. Passes it to Urepko. Back to Turner. Olynyk sets a screen for Turner. Lots of room. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. And that's 11 points for Kelly Olynyk. Chicago has gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Here's Splitter. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And the Bulls lead by 6. Clock management, this is where they can get a 2 for 1.
And Kevin, every opportunity counts.
Crowder kicks to Urepko. And a miss there on the triple.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
And it's Wright missing. Now Turner. He's got 12. Off target on the 15-footer. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Bulls lead by 6. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. The Bulls leading by 6. And a look at the 5 for the Celtics to start the fourth quarter. The big men are Sullinger and Olynyk. Isaiah Thomas out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Jones in at the small forward position.
Isaiah Thomas. That's his second personal foul. Derrick Rose at the line for the Bulls. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one.
They got to keep fighting their way to the line, guys. This half has been nothing but success for them there.
Yeah, taking full advantage from the charity stripe. They've yet to miss here in the second.
Bradley's checked in for Boston. Rose hits them both. Celtics trail by 8. Bradley kicks to Sullinger. Bradley is screen on Wright. Sullinger the screen. Here's Thomas. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Looking at the game for Thomas, 13 points and his huge assist tally makes it all the more impressive.
You know what? He's the catalyst. He's the reason why this team plays with such harmony. And if his passing continues, they are going to be dangerous.
And both free throws good for Thomas.
Probably as close to a sure thing as you can have at the free throw line.
Thomas against Rose. Wright outside. Outside Rose. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Wright. There's the triple. Rebound Boston. Outside Bradley. Here's Crowder. His three-pointers off the mark. Chicago leading by 6. Here's Butler. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Rose has got his 7th assist in the game.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
I'd agree with you, and I don't think they expected this one to be a game where they would get battered inside like they have.
Thomas kicks to Olynyk, tries from 7, and Wright pulls it down. Wright's got 7 rebounds in the game. Rose against Thomas. Rose kicks to Drummond. Takes the 13-footer. It's tipped. And here is Thomas. The dish to Olynyk. Drills the three-pointer.
And he's shaking off that slow start, giving them a boost here in the second.
The Bulls have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the 4th quarter. Rose passes to Wright. Now here's Drummond. Good-looking screen by Gasol. And it's Rose penetrating. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for 1 more.
All of the scoring in tight is coming at that end of the court.
You know, they found the holes in the defense and really doing a great job of exploiting them.
We're really impressed with the way Jimmy Butler last season made big strides in his game, going from a supporting role player to someone you can build your team around.
And Thomas, here we go. Sullinger outside for 3. Chicago grabs the miss. Wright's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Pass to Rose. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the 4th quarter. Here's Butler. He's looking for Drummond and finds him. The lead pushed to double digits. And now it's a 10-point Bulls lead.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measures 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. And he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friend.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Brad Stevens was giving to his team. He didn't exactly take it easy on them, saying, how much do you want it? Don't tell me. Show me out there. We have to play better. We have to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys?
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Thomas dishes to Olynyk, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And on the topic of Andre Drummond, Greg, there are a few guys in the league who combine his kind of size with the type of athleticism he possesses. Fast up and down the floor, quick off his feet, even sports a little hang time. I mean, the guy's got a full package athletic.
You talked about the raw physical tools. Then you factor in the 2 things as a big that I really value: great hands and quick feet. And he's got that going for him. So you can't go through him, you can't go around him, and you certainly can't go over him. I mean, what's left?
We can only hope to contain him, as they say. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
Yeah, maybe a change of the game plan right now, looking at some different sets because of the matchups.
Yeah, I agree with you, because they're looking to tweak things to maybe get those matchups working in their favor.
And just about 3 minutes through the 4th quarter here. Rose kicks to Gasol. The 10-footer. Rebound Boston. Olynyk's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Now here's Crowder, defended by Butler. Boston, no good that time either. The Bulls leading by 8. Rose attacking. It's hauled in by Thomas. Boston's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Olynyk the pass to Crowder. Just 4 to shoot to the left wing. The 3 from Thomas. Count the bucket.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Outside Rose. Over to the left wing. Now here's Drummond. Defense is right there. The shot's good from Gasol. Celtics trail by 7. To the middle. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point plus.
Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
And for Sullinger last season, further indication, Clark, that he needs to keep working on his conditioning.
And that was a concern coming into the league with Jared, is just how committed would he be to working on his body all the time and maintaining the level of conditioning that he needs. And injuries have been a part of that not being the case, but when he's out there, he's capable.
And talking about Sullinger, you wonder if he's been in the right scheme for the past couple of years. He's not a 3-point shooter. He's a back-to-the-basket banger. You want proof? Only hit 28% from behind the arc last season, and that was his career high.
And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. They get Paul Gasol.
You know, on the topic of Sullinger, guys, he said publicly that people are doubting him. And he's right. I mean, until he gets in better shape and stays that way, there will always be questions surrounding that part of his game. Hopefully for him going forward, he can be more Duncan than Diop in the way he treats his body. Well, a good game tonight for Sullinger. He has 11 points. He's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of 3-pointers.
And you know what? The defenders have that in the back of their minds now. They'll be on him a little tighter.
Celtics trail by 7. Thomas with the ball. Sullinger dishes to Crowder. Back to Sullinger. Hits the front of the rim and out. Bulls have gone 5 of 11 from the field in the 4th quarter. Right side Gasol. Bradley against Rose. And he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Well, he's a guy that you know can hurt you with his passing, and right there, he does some damage with his finishing, too.
He's been a different guy here in the second half. His shooting percentage far better than it was before the break.
Outside Gasol. Rose a screen on Bradley. 3-pointer, Butler. And it's Rose penetrating. Misses from short range.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that position.
That bucket in no time at all. And now it's just a 4-point Chicago lead. Chicago's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. Good-looking screen by Gasol. It's stolen by Sullinger. Drops in the breakaway layup. Sullinger's got 5 points in the quarter. Bulls have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Down low. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, Jimmy Butler is one of those guys who had to overcome major odds just to get to the NBA. Reportedly, his father abandoned the family when Jimmy was an infant. Mom kicked Jimmy out when he was 13. The obstacles and adversity go on, yet he's made it and made it big.
Boston making a switch here. Lee's checked in, and so Butler nails both of them. And going back to Jimmy Butler, there were just so many times when he was set up to fail. He was not heavily recruited out of high school. He was even homeless when he was in high school in the Houston area. Went to a junior college, then Marquette, now in the NBA. So he played his freshman year at a junior college, which I think humbled him just a bit, but maybe gave him that work ethic that is so much a part of his game now.
And Kevin, the talent was there, and most of all, as we see how he dealt with adversity, the heart was there. He blocked out the distractions, finally transferred to a major college, and worked his way into becoming a first-round pick.
And the basket by Rose.
Really hard to find fault with anything he's doing this quarter, at least at the offensive end.
Here's Thomas. They set the screen. Pass to Lee. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
Celtics trail by 4. Outside Thomas. The pass to Olynyk. Fires the 3. Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Now Rose. Right outside for 3. Kept alive. And another field goal in this total. Make it 7 for 14, shooting 50%.
I tell you what, you don't want to allow too many of those kinds of baskets with the game on the line.
This is when the defenders really have to protect the basket. You need to be in sync as a unit defensively. One made 3 formed for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Dishes it to Drummond. Outside Butler. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And here is Gasol. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line. And now an 8-point Bulls lead.
Oh, a fantastic quarter for him here in the 4th. I mean, efficiency personified here.
Rose against Thomas. Knocked away and stolen by Wright. He dishes it to Drummond. He feeds it to Rose. That drops. Rose has got 11 points in the quarter.
They're in the position they're in right now, thanks in no small part to the show that he's putting on in this period.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
Way too many shots in close, and he's got to get his guys to cut that down in terms of points in the paint.
Clearly the reason for the timeout, Greg. I mean, he wants his guys to toughen up inside and start protecting the rim.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Well, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what the head coach of the Chicago Bulls was going over in his huddle. Derrick Rose was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach is looking for him to take on a lot of responsibility when they've got the ball, to be a leader at the offensive end. He also wants them to concentrate on working as a team at the offensive end. Passing, patience, and teamwork. Those were the messages. Guys, we'll see how Coach's direction pays off as this one winds down. Kevin?
All right, Doris, thanks. And he gets it to go.
Wow, unconscious has he been this quarter. They're riding that hot hand.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They're behind by 10. A minute 50 left in the 4th quarter. Thomas against Rose. From 13, Thomas, no good.
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
Smith kicks to Gasol. Rose passes to Gasol. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got his 8th assist here tonight. Celtics trail by 12. Now, here's Thomas. Terrific Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in. Thomas got 22 points.
And that's why it's so important to really be a good screening team. You get a lot of open looks from it.
Rose, count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist. Rose has got the lead up to 12 now for Chicago.
And these are the types of games where one team clearly has the edge. Tonight, it will be a win by a large margin for the Bulls.
They had a fantastic play from the bench.
Yeah, they did. Their depth is really one of their greatest attributes.
And so they'll stretch their victory total to 19 on the season.
And after dropping game one in this matchup, they managed to take the second of a three-game season series. No question, that's a morale booster.
And partner, it sets up what should be a fantastic finale to the season series. Major bragging rights on the line that night.
And a great team effort, but still, what an individual performance for Derrick Rose. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
That's his second personal foul. Chicago.
Good on the first, and that brings them within single digits. And both free throws good from Crowder. Clarkson with the ball. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. And Mirotic has it in the corner. Now, here's Clarkson. Turner covering. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
This is a serious game-clinching run they're on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just not backing off here. I mean, they're looking to close this one out from style. What a time to have this kind of serve.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're down by 10. There's 10 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
You know, I think he's just trying to send his team a message, you know, not willing to give up on this game just yet. Just trying to instill that fight in this group.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for giving messages and teaching lessons, and I respect that, but at some point, if it's over, it's over. I mean, you need to be looking at the next one. This one's done. Forget about it. Let's move on.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. Some good moments throughout this one, but they have the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, and I thought good execution really played a big part throughout.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Pal, obviously the turnover number was high. You were still able to get the win. Is that something that Coach usually addresses with you guys?
It's addressed every single game. You know, I think our turnovers are way too high. Just got to take care of the ball, make the right play, make the right pass.
Imagine how good you'll be, pal, when you stop turning the ball over. Kevin, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now time to head over to the studio where the award-winning Ernie Johnson is with Shaq and Kenny, all standing by. Guys, take it away.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's present our Jordan player of the game, Derrick Rose. He had just an outstanding fourth quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him. And down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game. And Shaq, I can tell you want to say something. Your comments?
This play tonight, Ernie, was finally a bright spot for them because, you know, they had a very rough stretch game. It's been a while since their last win. He was not content on playing a supporting role and letting them lose another one. He came off strong, took over, and he was like, hey,
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the chart. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
And that'll do it for tonight. Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew. This is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.